بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. We usually take this time before Salat al-Jummah to answer questions that have been submitted online. If you're interested in having your question answered, you can download our app. It's the Al-Hijrah app. It is available both on the App Store and on the Play Store. Or there's a picture of me that says Jummah Q&A. Just hold up your camera to it. A link should pop up. Click on the link and you can submit your question, inshallah. Good morning. I'm from Uganda. Do you work with all races or specific ones in particular countries? MashaAllah. So someone from Uganda got this link. Khair. We work with everyone. So here at the masjid, of course, is for Allah. And here in general, as we understand, the administration, they follow a particular type of Islam. We are Sunni. There's no doubt about that. We follow Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. There's no doubt about that. But who do we serve? We serve everyone. There's no one here at this masjid who we will not serve. Non-Muslims come here for social work and social aid. Muslims come here for social work and social aid. We don't ask what sect are you from, what do you follow, what do you believe, because this is a community center and we're here to serve everyone. We don't discriminate against anyone. It doesn't matter if the person is male, female. We've even had people who are transgender come into the masjid asking for services. We do not turn anyone away. And that is something that is very important to keep in mind. That as a masjid, we do not turn anyone away. The only thing that we will not allow in the masjid is people coming and advocating for a belief that goes against what we believe. That's it. So if there is a brother or sister who is Shi'i who comes into the masjid and they say, hey, I need help or I need to pray, we will say, ahlan wa sahlan hadir. But if he comes and says, okay, I want to come and teach, we'll say, no, I'm sorry, this is not something that we can allow because this is against what we believe. Or if I have a pastor come in, or if I have a Jew come in, or if I have even this individual who is transgender coming and advocating saying that, oh, this operation is something that is good and it needs to happen, this is not something that we will allow. You want to come, you want to utilize our services, you want to, please, ahlan wa sahlan, you are more than welcome. These are the rules and the guidelines that we have. Anybody who follows those rules and guidelines is always going to be welcome into Dar al-Hijrah, walillahi alhamd. In terms of advocacy and coming and advocating against what we hold as an admin, what we hold as a masjid, then this is the only thing that wouldn't be allowed. Anybody who comes and disrespects the space. What does disrespect look like if somebody's dressed completely inappropriately? Now, I'm not talking about, a woman not wearing hijab or a guy wearing shorts. This is not what I'm talking about. But somebody, like a woman coming in with a miniskirt, right? This is not going to be tolerated. Or if a man just walks in with his underwear, this is not going to be tolerated, right? So these are things that would actually be considered disrespectful to the space. And we would approach them and say, hey, listen, you're more than welcome to come here. Please dress appropriately, and then you're more than welcome to come back. So these are the only conditions or guidelines I would say in terms of getting the services here at the masjid and who we serve. But walillah alhamd, I can't think of anybody who has followed the guidelines has been turned away. The only times that we have problems is like, when people get up and they start yelling. But the question I have for individuals who start yelling is, why are you yelling? Even if I agree with what you're saying or what you're telling me, is that going to help me change my mind? And even if I agree with what you're saying, is it possible, because we work with an administration, that we're going to change in that same moment? Right? These are things that we need to think about. And not just that, walillah alhamd, I can say this for sure, that if you go into the office space, if you go into the administrative space, and the people are there, the doors will always be open. What does that mean? If the doors are open, that anybody can walk in and say, Sheikh, I have a suggestion. Or they say, management, I have a suggestion. I have a problem with XYZ, and we'll sit down. We'll try to figure out how to solve it. Or what we'll do is we'll explain why we made that decision, right? Because here at the masjid, nobody is above reproach, right? Everybody has a right to be questioned. Why did you do this? Why are you doing that? The community gives money. They can say, where's our money going? You have every right, right? If I'm giving money, if I'm giving sadaqah, if I'm giving donations, I have every right to ask, where is my money going? No one could stop us from asking these questions. But does it make sense to yell in the middle of the musalla? And when I'm yelling in the middle of the musalla, I have to ask myself, why am I doing that? Is this really solving a problem, or is just bas ibraz al-shakhsiyya wa ibraz al-nafs? It's because I'm just showing off and I'm showing my pride, or I want to show off my knowledge, or I want to show off the information that I have, or that I'm willing to challenge openly. Questions are always accepted, always. There's never a time where a person can't question or can't engage. But fighting and yelling, these are things that are not allowed, especially if we live in a time, in a place, and a space that allows questions to happen. There have been times where people came up to me and say, well, Sheikh, I disagree with when you did this, this, and this. I said, Jazakallah khair. I appreciate that. Why do you, convince me. Convince me why you think I was wrong, and let's talk about it. Sometimes what happens, I'm convinced. I'm like, you know what, you're right, 100%. You know what else happens? Sometimes I feel he's right. And you know what happens? Sometimes we disagree. Right? He will stay on his opinion, I'll stay on my opinion, and that's fine. That's part of healthy discussion. That's part of a healthy community, that we know how to speak to one another and how to deal with one another. We don't always need to agree. You know, I remember one of the advices I usually give to new Muslims is like, listen, don't listen to other Muslims. Like, because when a person enters Islam, I said, you're going to have 10 people telling you 25 things. And when you have all of these opinions, you can get confused. And it's the same thing here. One person can have 2 or 3 opinions about sometimes just one issue. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But does it give me the right to force my opinion on others? Absolutely not. I can do that for myself. If I don't want to eat certain types of food, if I don't want to buy certain types of thing, if I don't want to engage in certain types of businesses, like you have every choice to do that. But I can't come and tell you, well, you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to, no. That's my business and how I want to carry myself. If I'm doing something haram, clearly, if I'm lying, if I'm cheating, if I'm backbiting, if I'm stealing, every right. This is something that we can talk about. But if there are things where there's khilaf, right, where there's a difference of opinion, I'm welcome to follow my opinion, but that person also has a space to follow his, and Allah knows best. What is Dar al-Hijrah? That's a It's a very broad question. Dar al-Hijrah is a community center, right? That's essentially what it is. There are different community services that are provided here. We have different departments at the masjid. We have religious services. Those religious services include fatawa, they include the khutbahs, they include the daily prayers. We have social services, so people, if they need any type of financial aid, if they need any type of help, if they need a lawyer, we provide those as well. We have family services, so if people have marital problems, if they have problems with their youth, they can come and see one of our spiritual counselors. We also have youth services. We have children's services. What else do we provide? Am I missing something? Outreach, right? We have outreach services where we deal with other organizations. We deal with jails. We deal with hospitals. We have public services, so if in case there are any legal issues that we're facing either in the state legislature or we're dealing with locally, we deal with those as well. And I think those are all the departments that we have here at Dar al-Hijrah.
You forgot kitchen, Sheikh.
Oh, and the kitchen is the most important. So we have, we do, alhamdulillah, we have amazing support staff. So what are the things that they provide? You know, they provide the meals that we have. They provide cleaning up. They provide a lot of the things that we don't think about, right? So when a light bulb goes out, who changes it? If something spills on the ground, who cleans it up? Every time we have a program, who rolls up the carpets and who puts them back out? Who puts up the tables and like who cleans and all of these things? So we have a very robust support staff. Walillah alhamd. But these are, in general, all the different services that we have here. If you have any questions on the services, or if you feel there needs to be a service, please contact us, right? You know, we are here to serve the community. I myself, I only put one condition, and this is in every department, but if I want a service to be offered, or if someone says, I want the service to be offered, I say, okay, what are you going to contribute to that service? That's the only condition I put. Because if you're not willing to put skin in the game, guess what? Neither am I. And this is something that's really important to keep in mind. But other than that, walillah alhamd, I find in general the community to be very open. I find it to be very accepting. I find it to be very tolerant. But I think we can do a better job. Oh, the meaning of Dar al-Hijrah? Dar al-Hijrah, it means the place of migration. And the place of migration is what? Medina, right? So Medina. So is that why they named it? They named it after Medina. Okay, alhamdulillah. So which is interesting, right? It's Medina was a place of tolerance and acceptance and brotherhood, and hopefully, inshallah, we are trying to exemplify that here at Dar al-Hijrah, and Allah knows best.